Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. It's time to have a look at a changelog update 2.27.2.47, and there is another nail in the coffin of the strike UAVs. Gaijin have tried so many times to balance these things, and once again the minimum battle rating of sessions in which strike UAVs are available has been increased from 10.7 to 11.3. So now the lowest you'll be able to see them is 10.3, which you should be able to have at least some kind of SPA for most nations that can deal with them. Obviously, Japan remains still crying in a corner. The simple fact is, when it comes to strike UAVs, is they have never been balanced, but I will always maintain that it isn't them which is specifically the issue. It is actually CAS itself at the highest echelon of the game, and also the fact that they were readily available for everybody, showing the increase basically in the issue. Most people in the game don't run CAS or don't run like a full lineup all the time, full bongo, because it takes a long time to be able to get that, not just to grind out, not just to grind out ground to the highest echelon, but also get aircraft to that echelon, whether it be airplanes or helicopters. It's not the easiest thing to do. So when strike UAVs came in, it gave people an option to be able to spawn something in which had access to 2 missiles and a pretty simple targeting system which they could use as a replacement for CAS. What strike UAV showed you is what happens when you increase the efficiency of the average player while adding CAS to them instead of focusing just on ground vehicles. And now that even if they remove strike UAVs, once the highest echelon gets to a critical mass where there's enough players who have access to enough CAS machines, you are going to see something which is hell on earth compared to what it was before. And now, right now, you actually have that, and they're adding even more vehicles in the form of stuff like the F-16C Block 50, which will make CAS even stronger while also nerfing a lot of the AAs at the highest echelon too. So you just have this horrific mix going on right now, where once again playing a ground vehicle is just not too fun. The strike UAVs, for me, are a canary in the coal mine. They're the first thing to kind of show that there is a real issue when it comes to the game at high tiers, and it is just the fact that it's incredibly imbalanced. It's been incredibly tough to play. At least now you can research helicopters with ground vehicles, so they've made it a little bit easier for people to get full lineups. But at the same time, since it takes a decent amount of time to do it, that's always going to be, a bit of a struggle going forward. The strike UAVs going up hopefully means eventually they'll just be removed. It isn't really nice just to have, or just to give people a button where they can just kill 2 people with pretty much no skill. And also because of the fact that the damage models are not just strike UAVs, but also recon little drones are just terrible. It's incredibly hard to just destroy them, especially before they get off like their 2 missiles. At least when it comes to planes, or at least when it comes to helicopters, most of them do die pretty quick, unless it's specific helicopters which have really weird DMs. So for the strike UAVs, it was just such a pain to destroy them, and it's in a way, it's been very positive that it's been put in the game, because it gives an example that is very easy to draw from my personal perspective. I don't like the fact that they were added because they were very bad for gameplay, but what it does mean is it means I can draw on it and kind of show why other mechanics in the game would be busted because of how strike UAVs work. Strike UAVs, in a simple way, are a machine which you would spawn and then randomly nuke 2 people when they just couldn't tell that it was coming, they couldn't tell where it was going from, and you would just get 2 kills. You wouldn't have to pay a repair cost, you wouldn't have to do anything. It basically was just kind of a kill streak bonus. And a lot of people recently, because in War Thunder we just have to keep adding stuff, we need new mechanics all the time, go. There was a lot of individuals talking about the idea of adding stuff, such as, some kind of artillery mechanic, top-down artillery, kind of like World of Tanks, the thing that has been changed so many damn times that people really don't like it, and also, they've made it tough to either play against or play, depending on the maps, and is one of the most vehemently detested mechanics in World of Tanks. Yeah, let's just bring it over to War Thunder, that sounds great. But it just shows, just imagine strike UAVs, but at every level. Because you will just randomly die. You'll just randomly die from things. An explosion will go off near you, or go on top of you after, a shot, and you will just die. That's how that would work. And there's no counterplay to it. You can't do anything apart from just sit in cover and hope that on the enemy team there isn't one of the machines. And with strike UAVs, you couldn't even do that because they just nuked you from space. So the change is positive. And once again, just another step before they get removed from the game. Because why wouldn't you? They just haven't worked. Sorry. They should have done a bit more testing. They should have given it a little bit more go. But, as I said, it just shows the wider issue at high tiers right now, and that needs to be addressed instead of just the strike UAVs. For ground vehicles, the fused projectiles that ricochet off the ground now detonate at a much shorter distance from the ricochet point, and there was also a bug that caused a lack of illuminating light in nighttime ground battles that's been fixed. I thought they removed ground battles. Are they bringing them back again? There was also a bug that caused a brief display of thermal imagery from the thermal sights in third-person view when switching the camera from third-person to sniper mode. That's been fixed. That's obviously good, so people can't abuse the system. Back in the day, you could actually get third-person thermals. Basically, what you would do is you'd switch to the commander view or switch to the bino view and then hit the thermal button. And then with certain vehicles, if you went back out to third-person, it just gave you a third-person thermal view. Turns out that was kind of busted, so I'm glad that they fixed that. The ZT-3A2, ooh boy, a bug that caused an offset of the coaxial machine gun, which also made the firing gun shoot above the target, has been fixed. That bug has literally been on that vehicle since release. However many years, however many updates, however many patches. But nobody plays the vehicle because it's trash. So it probably nobody noticed it. Only like me and maybe a few others who actually played that thing would have seen it. Another vehicle which just is in a horrific position and gets worse with every BR change that comes to it. There was also a bug related to radio fuse activation of anti-aircraft guided missiles when switching target tracking modes between radar and infrared sensor. That's been fixed, which is good. And then a bug where if rounds hit an enemy vehicle and the displays of the shell destroyed message in the impact camera shows damaged icons in red for components and the crew would display, even if the vehicle hit did not receive any damage. That's been fixed, which is fantastic. There was also a bug that caused ATGM lock-ons to switch to other objects with high temperatures, such as rockets. That's been fixed too. Oh my god. And then in aircraft, they have a ton of secondary changes, like secondary weapon changes. So for the SK-60B, the Saabs as well, the 105G and the 105OE, there was a bug that caused damage to be displayed even though the tail was shot off. That's been fixed. I mean, fair enough. But the SK-60B, they've increased the weight of the suspended armament for each wing from 500 to 550 kilo. I'm guessing that'll give it extra options. We'll have to test out what it can bring now. The Q5A, they fixed a bug that caused two inboard empty pylons to be shown on each wing when using the Type 132 missile. The J1N1, there was also a bug that caused the wrong number of turrets to be displayed in the vehicle's stat card. For some reason it said there was 4 instead of 2. The Lightning F-53, there was a bug that made it impossible to copy a weapon loadout that had 48 RP rockets and 144 SNEBs. That's been fixed too. And then also the AJ-37, the X-ray view, the outboard 30mm would remain even if the gun was detached. They fixed that too. And also the SU-25T and SU-39, the button for the infrared countermeasures didn't work. So now that's been fixed as well. God damn it. So a lot of random bugs with a lot of vehicles. For the interface, there was a bug that caused the first round replenishment indicator to disappear when opening the scoreboard in ground battles. That's been fixed, which is fantastic. There is a little bit of an issue with crew replenishment where the actual circle doesn't follow exactly your crew being replenished. For some reason, it's over too much and then like under too much when it finishes. So it gives kind of incorrect information when your vehicle is actually going to be crew replenished. The readability of the hit camera tooltip has been improved, and regular hits to vehicles are now displayed in orange, while a non-damage hit is now shown as green. That's actually really nice. There was also a bug that caused the tooltips of torpedoes in-game when hovering over them to display an incorrect depth. That's been fixed too. And a bug that caused a large number of rewards for actions in battle results tooltip screen to clip outside of the screen. That's been fixed as well. There was a bug that caused armor-piercing shells on stealth belts to display incorrectly in the protection analysis screen for aircraft. That's been fixed too. And also a bug that caused the multifunctional menu in battle whilst in an aircraft with a ballistic computer for guns to erroneously show missiles active has been fixed. Turns out you got some Invisi missiles. The ability to display the name on markers of allied players only in squads has been added to the settings. That's actually pretty cool. I really like that one. Basically, it means that there's less clutter on the screen, and you can also just see just your teammates and nobody else. So if you don't want to see other people's names, you don't have to. There was also a bug that in some cases caused the filter of preferred maps to incorrectly display a lower battle rating. So that's been fixed as well, which is a bit odd. Then the car chi, there was a bug that caused the vehicle tracks to incorrectly display in the sky for other players. That's been fixed. Well, they just wouldn't be there. There was quite a few vehicles where their tracks would just go invisible over a time. Not too fun. And then also, they fixed the incorrect activation time for the sale of coupons from the Summer Extreme event. That's been fixed. That was an issue for some vehicles. They just had completely different activation times. Some of them had like 20 days, others had like 5. But thank God they fixed that, because obviously when it comes to the Gaijin market, there's a lot of people who are looking to get some Gaijin coin from it. So they got to make sure to go and make sure, that works properly. For me, a lot of people have asked me my opinion on which one's going to be the most pricey. I'd probably go for the ground vehicle. The HMS Renown, even though it's an okay vehicle, it's worse than a lot of other 7.0s, so it doesn't have too much value. Then you have, of course, the plane, the Su-25. What a surprise, attaching some missiles to a machine which has basically the capabilities without the missiles of like a 9793 and putting it at 11.3 doesn't work too well. So that's why you haven't heard anything about it over the last week, because it's just not good enough. So yeah, it looks like in general that's what's going on with that. So I'd probably go for the Swedish vehicle for the highest value. We'll see what goes on. But as always, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank Brendan Quinn, Vilneus, Character Fuel, Juan the Panda, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Merciless Reaper, Orange Tail, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Moxie, B. Young, Bareen, Peter Grayling, Alan Hacker, Sem Alslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R., and also Lafouche for supporting the channel.